Hey guys, Foxdrop here. Season 7 has just recently begun, and with each fresh new season, you'll be getting a fresh new elo. So in this video today, I want to talk about your placement games. These are the things that determine what rank you'll be placed at to start the new season. Now there's a bit of confusion about placement games, and more than confusion, there's a bit of frustration about them. So hopefully this video will help you guys understand things a bit better, but more specifically, I hope that you can come out of this video feeling a bit better about your placement games and the whole process of this soft elo reset at the end of the day. So the first thing to know about your placements is that everyone will be put in an elo that is lower than where they finished season 6. To be honest, if you think about it, this does make a lot of sense, even if it doesn't feel too fair for you. What is the point of having a new season with a soft elo reset if you're not going to be put in a position where you're going to have to climb your way back up the ladder? Doesn't really make much sense. So everyone will be lower than they were last season. On top of that, considering the highest elo you can be placed in is Platinum 1, it makes a lot of sense that you will be placed in a lower tier than where you ended. Like if you're a Challenger player, for example, you wouldn't be able to be placed in Challenger, you wouldn't be able to be placed in Master tier, you wouldn't be able to be placed in Diamond, you'd be placed in Platinum, so that's 3 whole tiers you wouldn't be allowed to be placed in. So if you went from like Gold to Silver or Gold to Bronze, that's not that bad, considering there'll be Challenger players who went from Challenger to Plat. And on top of that, the important thing to really emphasize here is that this happens to everyone. Everyone will be put in a lower division, in a lower tier, so don't worry if it happens to you, it's all good. Second thing to bear in mind about your placements, if you do get placed lower than where you finished in last season, which will happen because it happens to everyone, then don't worry, because if you finished in a certain division, you will get that back at the end of this season as well. Like if you're in gold and you got placed in bronze, don't like fret over about it, don't panic about it, don't worry about it. If you were good enough to be in gold at the end of last season, you will be good enough to get gold again in this season. Like just take myself for example, right? I'm a Diamond 2 player, I finished in Diamond 2 last season, and I got placed in Platinum 2 this season. Now I'm not fretting about it, I'm not worried about it, I'm not condemned into the elo hell of Platinum, because I know that if I was good enough to get to Diamond 2 last season, then why won't I be good enough to get it this season? And if I deserve to be a Diamond player, then I wouldn't get stuck in Platinum. Like this is kind of going back to the old like elo hell argument, and this is kind of like just beaten all like way too much right now, but there's still some people who believe it, so I'll just go ahead and say it again. But there's no player that deserves to be in a higher tier, a higher division, that will be stuck in a lower tier. If you believe that you're a gold level player or a silver level player and you think you're good enough to be in those divisions, you will not get stuck in something like bronze if you're a silver player, or silver if you're a gold player, whatever it may be. So if you do get placed lower than where you were last season, which will happen, don't worry about it, you'll climb back up. Third thing as well, it's not a race. You have the whole bloody year to climb back to wherever it is you finished last season. I think that's enough time to be able to achieve your goals. And last thing I want to say here, point number 4, is that the games will most likely be somewhat unbalanced at the beginning of the season. It is a soft elo reset, which means that players will kind of get muddled up a little bit as to who's playing with who, and the elo ranges of the games may be kind of varied. What I mean by that, for example, is you'll probably get like some gold players playing with silver players, or maybe even plat players playing with silver or gold as well. Like it's not how it was at the end of last season, where you'd only be playing with people who are around the same level as where your rating was. It's going to be a little bit muddled to start with. So this does mean that the games will be a little bit unbalanced, and this is usually a complaining point for people. They don't like playing at the beginning of the season because they get that silver scrub on their team who feeds their ass off. First thing to say about that is you're just as likely to get that silver scrub on the enemy team, so it's not really an excuse for why you can't climb. And secondly, if you're just complaining about the quality of games, how they're not good overall, that's a pretty good argument for that. But something that's really important to bear in mind here is that that silver player didn't ask to be put in your game. Please just do not rage at this silver player. It's not their fault that they be put in your game. Like I can guarantee you 9 out of 10 silver players who are put in a gold or a plat game aren't really excited about it. Like, yes, I deserve to be here. Everyone else around me is rubbish. Finally, I'm in an elo I belong. No, most likely they're shitting themselves at the prospect of getting dumpstered on by these good players. And the thing is, if they didn't already realise they're out of their depth before the game even started, they'll certainly realise it by the time they get into game and start getting shat on. And the worst thing you can do is flame that person, because it's not their fault. It's not their fault, they're just not good enough to play in that game. If they had their choice, they would probably much rather play in a game around their skill level where they felt that they could compete and have more fun. And last thing to say about that as well is that if this silver player, or whoever it may be, loses you your game because they didn't play particularly well, the negative impact they've had on you is that they've cost you a game of League of Legends. But if you flame them really hard and you berate them all game, then the negative impact that you're going to have on them far exceeds the negative impact they've had on you by ruining your game. Like, you could generally ruin someone's day by doing that, and you could also completely ruin their drive to play ranked, to be competitive playing League. It's just not worth it, guys. Don't rage at that poor little guy who's been stuck in your game and he's way out of his depth and he can't keep up. He's trying his hardest. He's bless his little cotton socks. He's trying his best, but he just can't do it. Don't pick on him, guys. Be nice to him, alright? Just be nice to him, okay? If you want to rage at someone, don't rage at him. Rage at Riot, rage at the system, but it's not his fault. Anyway, I hope this video helped you guys somewhat, and just some things to remember for your placement games for the new season. If you did like this video, of course, feel free to hit me that cheeky thumbs up. You can subscribe to me for more League of Legends content. You can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, catch streaming, twitch.tv/Foxdrop. Take on my second gameplay channel. Gameplays every single day. Yeah, most importantly, boys and girls, thank you so much for watching. Good luck in your new Season 7 ranked climb. And I will see you in my next video.